Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. Welcome to you all in Mishra sir classes. Today we are going to deal with Newton's second law of motion. In previous video we had started with Newton's first law of motion, inertia. We had dealt it. You can have the link and description of that video in the description box of this particular video. So you can go to the description box and you can click the link to learn and study about Newton's first law of motion from that video. So without making delay, let us start today from Newton's second law of motion. Dear students, what is Newton's second law of motion? Newton's second law of motion. In Newton's first law of motion, we had studied about definition of force, inertia, why Newton's first law of motion is called law of inertia, what is force, how does Newton's first law of motion define force. Once again I am giving you a review of that. Newton's first law of motion gives the definition of force also. Previously you have been taught force is a simple push or pull. Now we can say, after studying Newton's first law of motion, we can say that force is an external agency which changes or try to change the state of the body. Force is an external agency which changes or try to change the state of the body. Now come to this point, second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion gives the relation of force and acceleration. Actually it correlates force with acceleration. Acceleration you all know. So what happens when a force is applied to a body? Of course it causes some change or try to cause some change. If the change in the state is caused, if the body is made to move from its state of rest, then certain changes takes place. That changes takes place in the velocity of that body. Due to change in the velocity of the body, acceleration of the body changes. Now you need to understand here what are the other physical changes takes place when a body get accelerated. Suppose this is a body of mass m. It is applied with a force F. Initial its velocity is u. After application of force, its velocity changes to v, but the mass is same. So when the body was moving with initial velocity u, at that time the body is in its somewhat different state. When the velocity changes to b, some changes occurs. Now you have to understand that change, what changes has taken place. So if the velocity has increased, what if the velocity has increased, then of course the acceleration is positive. Now here in both the case mass of the body is same, mass is same, but the velocity is only changing. So due to the change in velocity of the body having the same mass, there is some changes. If this body which is moving with velocity u, if it hits you, how do you feel? Note it down. The same body, when its velocity increases and if it hits you, then in that condition how do you feel? Maybe you might get complexed a little bit. I'll make it easier with example. Suppose you might have got patting by your mother like this. When your mother pat like this, the hand is same, the mass of the hand is same, but if the velocity of the hand is less, you have a different feeling when you get a pat on your back or at your face. You feel good. But when your mother is very angry and you get a good slap, at that time how do you feel? After getting the good slap, the hand is same, but only the velocity has changed. So at that time it will give a very different impact. So the impact in both the condition is different. You have to understand that. In the same way, when this body which has mass m is having velocity u, if it hits you, you will get a different impact. And the same body, when it has increased velocity, that is v, and if it hits you, you will get the different impact, as when you got the impact after having a good slap by your mother or your father, isn't it? So now you might have understood that due to change in velocity, the impact get changed. So when the velocity changes, what happens? Force also changes, because the mass remains the same. So to increase the velocity, you have to apply, if this is F1, you have to apply F2, because the same force cannot produce different velocity in the same body, because the mass is same. So if you have to increase the velocity, you have to increase the force also. So here you understand that by increasing the force, the velocity can be increased, and when the velocity is increased, the impact of the force change. So now what should we say about the impact of the force? Now here you need to understand a term that is called momentum. So now let us get introduced with a term, momentum. The product of mass and velocity of the body is called momentum. It is denoted by this P. So momentum is equal to m into v, you can write here. So on what factor momentum depends? The mass is unchangeable, it doesn't change, because if you take the mass of your body, it is not changeable generally. So here if the velocity changes, momentum get changed. If velocity increases, momentum increases. If velocity decreases, momentum decreases, because here in momentum and the velocity there is direct relation. So you can say it is in direct proportion with velocity. Change in momentum is directly proportional to the change in velocity, because this mass, it is the constant factor here. So when you got a pat by your mother at your back or at your face, it had a small impact, very good impact. But when you got a slap, at that time the velocity got changed, the mass of the hand was velocity got changed, mass of the hand was same, but the impact was different, and you had a good blow at your face. So this is momentum. The product of mass and velocity of a body is called momentum. Momentum depends on velocity. Another thing, if you change the mass, then what happens to momentum? Yes, if you change the mass, suppose this is a small ball, this is plastic ball, this is a cricket ball. If you are hit with the plastic ball, this has mass m, this has also mass small m, it has velocity v, it has also velocity v. In both the case the velocity is equal, the mass is different. Now if both the ball has got same velocity and you are hit with these balls, So this cricket ball, it will hurt you more. Why? Because its mass is larger. Plastic ball has got a smaller mass. So even they have same velocity, in both the case velocity is same, but the mass is different. So the momentum produced in both the bodies is different. The body which has more mass, it will have here m into, in the case of cricket ball, m into v, that will be larger. In case of plastic ball, this small m and v, that will be smaller. So momentum depends on mass and velocity. If the mass is constant, in that condition momentum completely depends on velocity. So let's move to another part. Now, what is Newton's second law of motion? After understanding momentum, what is after this, now Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force on that body. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force on that body. So you can write F proportion rate of change of momentum. Here you need to understand what is rate of change of momentum. For that you need to understand first what is change of momentum. For change of momentum, suppose a body having mass m is moving with initial velocity u. When a body having mass m, when applied with unbalanced force F, it moves with initial velocity u. After time t, its velocity changes to v. In that condition, so it has initial velocity also, final velocity also. So in that condition you need to find out initial momentum. Initial momentum means mass of the body multiplied by initial velocity. That is, suppose the mass of the body is m here, so m into initial velocity u. U means initial velocity. M into u. V means this is final velocity. So by the application of force, the velocity changes to v. That is why its final velocity is final momentum is m into v. Now change in momentum. Change in momentum, if this is initial momentum p1, if this is p2, then change in momentum is equal to, you can write p2 minus p1. So p2 minus p1, that is mv minus mu. यानी बाद वाले मोमेंटम से पहला वाला मोमेंटम को माइनस कर लेंगे तो चेंज इन मोमेंटम आ जाएगा. अब सो यू कैन राइट एम भी, टेक एम कॉमन, v minus u, mv minus u. So this is change in momentum. So what will be rate of change of momentum? Here rate of change of momentum is equal to what? So to find out the rate of change of momentum, you have to divide change in momentum by time taken. So how much time is taken here? T second, suppose. So divide it by that total time taken to change its velocity from u to v, that is initial velocity to final velocity. Whatever the time has been taken, you have to divide the change in momentum by that time. So change in momentum will be equal to m v minus u by t. This gives कि by what amount the momentum change every second. This means by what amount the momentum is changing in every second. So you have got rate of change of momentum. So dear students, so after knowing it, now rate of change of momentum, so this will be F proportion m v minus u by t. F proportion v minus, you can write m, this portion m v minus u by t, it is equal to a. v minus u by t is acceleration, so m into a. Now F is equal to, remove this proportion sign, take a constant k, m into a. F is equal to kma. Here remove this constant. For that, if 1 unit of force, 1 unit of force, 1 unit of mass and 1 unit of acceleration is taken in this case, means if the value of force will be equal to 1 unit of force, that implies 1 unit of force means what? 1 Newton. 1 unit of mass, this implies 1 kg. 1 unit of acceleration, in a SI unit it is 1 meter per second square. Now put these values here in this equation. F is equal to kma. When you will put this value here, you will get the value of constant. F is equal to kma. Now F is equal to 1 unit, that is 1 Newton. K is equal, mass is equal to 1 kg and acceleration is equal to 1 meter per second square. So K will be equal to what? 1. Now putting the value of, put this value of K in this equation 1, you get, putting the value in 1, we get, what do we get? We get here F is equal to K, value of K is 1 into ma, that is F is equal to ma. This is the equation of Newton's second law of motion. So if the mass is 1 kg, acceleration is 1 meter per second square, then the force will be equal to what? 1 Newton. 1 Newton force can be defined as the force which can produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a body of mass 1 kg. So how can you define 1 Newton force? 1 Newton force can be defined as the force which can produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a body of mass 1 kg. So dear students, this is the mathematical derivation of Newton's second law of motion. You can correlate Newton's second law of motion in different activities taking place in our day-to-day life. You might have seen that cricketers, when they catch the ball, they pull their hands back. Why it is so? Because when they pull the hands back, the ball which has been hit, it has a small mass, but it has been hit with greater force, large force, so it has very high momentum. To decrease its momentum, the hand is slowly pulled back so that it increases the time to come to rest. When the ball come to rest slowly, less momentum is applied on your hand and you are not hurt badly. But if you catch like this, then abruptly the ball come to rest, and in that situation a very high momentum is applied to your hand, because in very less time the ball having higher momentum comes to rest and it will hurt you more. In boxing ring, you might have seen when boxers punch their opponent, their opponent pull back their face like this. When the punch goes towards the face, they pull back their face like this. Why it is so? Because even in such situation, even they get hit by the punch, it will increase the time for the punch to comes to rest, and less momentum is applied on his face and less damage is caused. It is easy to take a jump on sandy surface. A surface which is covered with sand, if you take a jump over that, it doesn't hurt you much. Why? Because when you jump over it, your feet slowly sink into the sink and slowly comes to rest. So the momentum of your feet becomes zero slowly, not at once. That is why you do not get a jerk, you do not get a force from that surface immediately in a very high quantity which can hurt you. So dear students, I hope you all might have understood this situation. You can correlate Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion actually gives the concept of acceleration due to application of unbalanced force on a body. When acceleration is caused in a body, it also causes momentum in that body. So higher the acceleration, higher will be the momentum. Higher the mass of the body, higher will be the momentum of that body also. So momentum depends on two factors, mass and acceleration, means mass and velocity. If the velocity is high, the momentum will be high. So this is Newton's second law of motion. Now Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion states that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law of motion states that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So if a body is applied with force F1, it get a reaction. This is action. It will get a reaction force F2 in opposite direction, but the magnitude will be equal. The magnitude of both these forces will be equal. So to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. When we hit something like this, we also get hurt, because we apply a force, like I am applying a force on this board. So the force is being applied on the board is F1. It is on board, and when I hit like this, the board also hit my palm. So reaction is applied on palm. Here you can see this action and reaction, both these forces are acting on two different bodies. Mind it, action and reaction, these two forces always act at two different bodies, because if they would have acted on the same body, then very peculiar phenomenon, very interesting phenomenon, many very interesting incidents and events might have happened. So let us know how. अगर ये दोनों फोर्स एक ही पे लगता तो बड़ा गजब गजब का स्थिति होता है. जैसे सपोज यू आर हैमरिंग अ नेल इन द बोर्ड इन द वॉल लाइक दिस. इफ द नेल इज hit with the hammer like this, the hammer gives force on this nail, and due to that force the nail pierces into the plank or wall. Now the wall will also exert equal and opposite force, and if it would have been applied on the nail itself, then this nail would have again come out of from the plank or the wall. मतलब यहाँ यह है कि अगर जब हैमर से हिट करते हैं तो जैसे कील अंदर घुसता है उस फोर्स की वजह से, अब बोर्ड भी तो कोई फोर्स इक्वल एंड अपोजिट फोर्स अगर उस नेल पे लगाता तो क्या होता, नेल जितना अंदर गया फिर से वापस उतना बाहर आ जाता. तो ज़िंदगी भर हम एक ही कीले को ठोकते रहते, एक बार ठोकते तो वो अंदर जाता और इमीडिएटली फिर वो बाहर आ जाता. तांगा का घोड़ा एक कदम आगे बढ़ाता तो वो आगे खींचता और फिर रिएक्शन फोर्स लगता तो फिर वो बैक हो जाता. तो यानी कि एक ही जगह पे आगे पीछे इस तरह से आप करते रहे थे सारी जीवन. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होता है. क्यों नहीं होता है? क्योंकि ये एक्शन और रिएक्शन ये दोनों दो चीज़ पे लगता है. जैसे कि मैंने अभी यहाँ लिखा है, एक्शन अगर इस बोर्ड पे लगाया ऐसे तो इस बोर्ड ने रिएक्शन किस पे लगाया, इस हथेली पे लगाया. यानी कि एक्शन और रिएक्शन दोनों अलग अलग बॉडी पे लगता है. ये हमेशा पेयर में एग्जिस्ट करते हैं लेकिन दो अलग बॉडीज़ पे एक्ट करते हैं. सो न्यूटन्स थर्ड लॉ ऑफ मोशन स्टेट्स दैट टू एवरी एक्शन देयर इज एन इक्वल एंड अपोजिट रिएक्शन. सो मेनी इंसिडेंट्स टेक्स प्लेस इन आवर डेली लाइफ on the basis of Newton's third law of motion. When a bullet is fired from the gun, we get a jerk. That is called recoiling of gun. We get a jerk. Why? Bullet goes ahead, but reaction force is applied on through the gun. It is applied on our shoulder, because the gun, sometime when you fire the rifle, we take a support through our chest. If it is not so, if you are having a pistol, it is small, then you will get a jerk in your hand. So when you fire the bullet, automatically your hand, after firing the bullet pulling the trigger, the bullet fires, bullet moves forward and your hand get a jerk backward. That is Newton's third law of motion. Rocket goes into the space by Newton's third law of motion, because when the rockets are launched, it press the air and the earth in downward direction, and that is why the same equal and opposite force is applied on the body of rocket, which propel the rocket in the upward direction in the sky. Catapult is also an example of Newton's third law of motion. Shooting an arrow through the bow, that is also an example of Newton's third law of motion. So once again, let us sum it up. What is Newton's third law of motion? Newton's third law of motion states that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Both these action and reaction forces occur in pair, but they always act on two different bodies. So dear students, this is I think too much for this video clip. Just go through it again and again. If there is problem in the concept, you can comment, you can write your views in the comment box, like it, and if you feel it is better for you, just subscribe it. Thank you. Bye bye.